everybody. Thank you for coming out to this ribbon cutting event. This is actually 7 months in the making. I think it's pretty amazing we were able to build these homes, these new homes, in 7 months. And I want to take you way, way back in time, maybe not, but, several decades in time. And I want to recognize former Mayor Aaron Lipsky, who's here with us. His grandfather owned this whole kind of property and actually built these buildings, or had these buildings built out front here. And it's almost like, Aaron's grandfather's vision is just sort of being continued here with these additional new units. And it's going to continue to serve this community and provide affordable housing to people in this well-established neighborhood. I want to welcome Governor Ayotte here. Thank you for coming to Keene. It's early in your term, and I'm really impressed that you made it back to Keene so quickly, especially at the beginning of budget season, which I know is going to be difficult, but we really appreciate you being here. So this is a really great story, because last month, some residents in one of the buildings in Swansea that some clients of Southwestern Community Services were displaced because of a burst pipe in their apartment building. It basically forced them to move out, and we've had folks that have been living in a hotel, members of our community that have been living in a hotel for more than a month, and I don't think anybody likes to do that. And so through this is sort of a public-private partnership. Jared Goodell, who I'm going to introduce in a minute, this is his vision. He owns this whole sort of parcel. He saw a crumbling, kind of crummy parking lot, and he saw what it could be, and he made this happen. And so we're going to be able to take those folks that were displaced and put them into permanent housing. And if you have toured these kind of very efficient but really well decorated and put together units, I think the folks are just going to be thrilled. I mean, this is going to be a really great thing to have them here. So Jared Goodell. Jared's done an amazing job with this project. He came to me, 7-8 months ago, and he had just acquired this property, and he had this sort of what I thought was sort of a wacky vision at the time. He said, I'm going to put 3 buildings up in this parking lot, and we stood right pretty much where we are right now, and I said, okay, we'll see how that goes. Shortly after, I met with the city, and we sort of tested the feasibility of it, and I think that my first meeting with the city, I think I got a, yeah, no, it's probably not going to work. But we were really persistent, and I think Jared was a driving force behind that. I would go back to Jared and I'd say, oh, we can't really fit those in here. He said, well, what about this? And he was reading through every line and letter of the code to figure out a way to get this done. And to the city's credit, they really did work with us all the way through the process. And the current codes, you have to know, these are codes that have been layered on and messed with and cut together over decades. And we have some really great folks at the city that try to work with that framework and make things possible. And we never got a no. We got a little bit of pushback on things because people were doing their jobs. And I appreciate that. And since we got this project permitted, which required, I think, 2 variances of parking reduction and lots of board meetings and all that stuff, the city has gone on to improve their codes. I think they took some lessons learned from our project, and they've been considering adopting a parking reduction, which would be really, really helpful. It's also spurred this project that we're standing on right here, spurred some legislation at the state level to allow for building on private roads. This Aliber place is a private road. And so if the legislation gets to your desk, Governor, I hope you'll sign it, because it would help projects like this get through faster with less approval. So with that, I want to introduce Jared to talk a little bit about the project, and I want to thank you all for being here once again. Thank you.
Thanks, George, and thanks, Governor, for coming up to Keene today. Mayor Kahn, thank you. Members of the council, thanks for being here, and city staff as well. So like George said, this project conceptually got started 7 months ago, but 5 months ago this was just a parking lot. That's when digging got started. And so we're really proud that we were able to get this project permitted, built, and to the finished product that you saw today in just 5 months. And to expand on what George had to say, that really is because of the work that is being done in Concord legislatively with, cutting the red tape and changing these decades-old laws that just don't really fit the housing crisis that we have today. Same thing on the city level. The city staff has really been nimble in figuring out how the codes are stopping housing from being developed, and they're changing those. And I think at every city council meeting in the last year or so, there's been something on the agenda concerning codes, land development code, housing. And so keep doing that work, please, because that work that you've done has made a project like this possible. I also just want to recognize the team that we have that put this project together. We heard about the Southwestern Community Services disaster in Marlboro about a month ago, and these buildings were nowhere near close to being done. But I went to the team and we said, hey, we've got an opportunity to help out 6 elderly displaced residents, and everybody buckled in, and we got these units done. And so in the next week or so, 6 tenants, elderly folks who are have been living in a hotel room, are going to be moving into these homes. And so we're really proud that we were able to work with Beth Daniels at Southwestern and Kevin Watterson there to make that happen. And so I just want to give a shout out to Austin Belsick of AV Precision Electric for getting his team together to get this project done. John Edwards of More Power Electric for doing the heat pumps here that you see. Dave Blanchard got the drywall done. Solo guy did it in 3 weeks, all 6 units. Everything from hanging it to sanding it. So good work, Dale. That's really what these projects takes, is a collaboration of everybody from the executive branch to the legislative branch to the city government and down to the boots on the ground that are making these things possible. George and I are excited that we're moving away from this project and onto a 17-unit project down on Emerald Street in the building that we just acquired, an old mill building. And again, we're utilizing some recent state laws and legislative changes to make that project happen. So, Governor, I know that you've got some things coming up, that are going to help make these projects and permitting even easier. So, keep on keeping on that, please. And that's all I've got. I think Mayor Kahn wants to say a few words. Or is it? We got Beth next. Let's have Beth from Southwestern next.
Hi everyone, I'm Beth Daniels with Southwestern Community Services. Governor, I believe you may be doing a proclamation for community action, possibly in the month of May, and we're very, very thankful for that. Yes, housing is a big piece of what Southwestern does. We do senior housing and family housing, but when we have an opportunity to partner with a private entity to come up with something creative like this, it shows you how not by one avenue alone can we kind of solve the housing crisis, whether it's the city approving the accessory dwelling units, or Jared and George coming together and doing something like this, pulling it off in a matter of months. It takes all hands on deck. Josh Meehan is building some housing up on Washington Street. All sizes, all partners, and all ideas on the table to try to solve the problem. So thank you so much.
And we got the scissors. Well, welcome, Governor Ayotte. Thanks, George and Jared, for completing your project in such an efficient manner. This is a real prototype for where we may go in the future. We'll see how this works. The city's very proud of having been designated a New Hampshire Housing Champion. In fact, we received the highest score in the ratings, the reviews. I want to point out that Evan Clement and Mary Brunner of our community development staff have been at the forefront of a lot of those changes, and so want to thank them. Rebecca Landry, who you met from the city staff, assistant manager, is here today to represent the city. And Paul Andrus is our new community development director. Is 1 week on the job and you can take credit for something here. A fine staff that you're working with. So it is that we have city councilors here, Councilor Favalise and Williams and Remy. It's great that we have all taken some pride in this along with our city staff and the many changes that we've made to make housing development easier in Keene. I'm not going to detail them all, but today is an opportunity to recognize what Keene has done to encourage affordable housing and to do it with compact housing units. We've done it with detached accessible dwelling units. We've done it with a compact rural development zone and in creating a cottage court overlay district, which informed this project significantly, I think. The zoning changes and the purposes of these are to promote compact infill, provide developers with the flexibility for innovative site design, encourage affordable development, affordable to both the developer and the occupants, and to encourage a range of housing choices for smaller households, like seniors that can serve senior citizens and young professionals. And this Aliber Place apartments development with the housing of the Southwest Regional Services seniors is in fact carrying out that mission of small households, senior citizens, and providing affordable housing that they can have access to. So it really is serving as that prototype. I want to congratulate Jared Goodell and his partner in this, George Hansel, on completing the project quickly. These 6 houses help address our housing shortage, but we have a long way to go to meet our goal of 1,400 additional units, which are needed in the next 10 years in Keene. So this prototype, we can see how well this works. Small houses, how well it's received, and see if this can serve as a model for Keene and New Hampshire and the rest of New England. So thank you very much, George, for organizing the event, for attracting those who contributed to this building and those who will benefit from it in the future. Thank you, Governor, for being present and reinforcing our efforts. Appreciate it.
Yep, great. Well, first of all, this is a fantastic project, and what would bring the current mayor, Mayor Kahn, and 2 former mayors here, I mean, talk about a great opportunity and people coming together. And I want to thank the city of Keene and very much the city councilors and everyone who came together from Keene to make this happen. Jared, amazing. You know, these projects don't happen this quickly, so keep going. You know, keep this partnership going. And to the contractors that stepped up to make this happen quickly, especially for those residents who have been displaced. And thank you to, you know, Southwestern Services for what you do, community services, because it's really important. And the fact that you could build this public-private partnership to help those seniors that were displaced is critical. So this is a great example, Mayor, you know, for the city to partner, to have that public-private partnership, and I hope that others also follow this example throughout the state, because we just need more housing. We have a wonderful state with great economic opportunity, but we need affordable places to live for the people that work and build this state. So I would just encourage you, Jared and George, please keep going. The state wants to be a partner in all this. And I do have my budget address tomorrow, but part of that budget address will talk about the need to reform permitting at the state level and to make it more efficient, so that the state can be a good partner. The way Keene has stepped up to look at its local ordinances, the state needs to do the same. And we're going to be doing that, and I think this is the beginning of many ways that we can creatively address the housing crisis, and I think that's important. to allow each community to decide creative ways to create more housing opportunities, whether it's smaller dwelling units, accessory dwelling units, tiny homes. All of the above is really what we need. Apartments, manufactured housing, and I hope we continue to build and to do more for the people of this state so that we can also keep our young people here. So congratulations, and congratulations to the mayor and to Keene as well for being such a great partner.
Thank you. Before I let you go and get into a warmer place, I've got a special treat. We're going to allow the governor to literally cut through some red tape with these enormous cartoon-like scissors. And so if I could just get Governor Ayotte, Jared, and Beth from Southwestern Community Services, Mayor Khan, if you could come up here and do a little ribbon cut. And who's going to take pictures?
George, picking the right thing.
Got it, George.
By the way, this is, I think, my first ribbon cutting.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. This is.
Congratulations. You're the first photo.
So why don't you give us a countdown? 5. Ready? 5, 4,
3, 2, 1,
Yeah.
go!
We're gonna get this done.
Yay! Kelly!